ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to take this opportunity to take on to the next part of today's agenda, which is a talk by my good friend, architect Ahmad Ridha Razak of Citizens Plus. Now, before I formally invite him to stage, I'd like to give you a little bit of bio as to who he is. Architect Ridha Razak, as I'm sure most of you know, who's no stranger to most of us, is a transdisciplinary creativist who's educated in Australia, Austria, Japan, and of course, Malaysia. With 20 years experience, he is currently the director of Abras Architect, ARN Consulting Training, Citizens Lab, Pentas School of Blockchain, the previous chairman of Young Architects Asia 2019 to 2021, the director of Rumah Tangsi, and a member of Citizens Plus. He has a long list of credentials, but I think I'll stop there for today. Otherwise, we'll be here for the next 1-2 hours. But what's more interesting, of course, is what he'll be talking about, which of course is the metaverse and architecture and how the future is now. So now I'd like to take this opportunity to invite architect Ridha Razak onto the stage with this topic, navigating the metaverse. Let's welcome him. Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys today? How do you feel? I hope everyone's feeling great because this is a momentous occasion, which is the launching of the KLAF this year, right? And also the physical. We haven't had a KLAF physical for 2 years. Launching, I mean, but previously we had. But before I start, can I get the slide? Okay. I'll get you a sneak peek of the projects that we have done. KLAF 2022 has launched and commenced Mind Shaping the Future, Architect's Role to Nurture. I'm here today to open your lens. The future is now, let's explore together. Yeah? So my name is Architect Ridha Razak. I'm actually honored to be called to give a presentation at the KLAF launch and also share my experience throughout the pandemic and my transformation into digital. So a lot of has happened throughout this 3 years, and from a basic Zoom, now what we call has come into a new digital world of metaverse. So a little bit about my background. I actually studied IT before I started architecture in Taylor's College back in 1998 and 1999, doing programming and also database. And then from there, I started my journey as an architect at RMIT and also TU Vienna, Austria. And then currently I'm playing a lot of roles. And what makes myself actually become a transdisciplinary is actually volunteering in all the associations. I learned a lot from a lot of the seniors throughout the years. And from there, I established a lot of companies and sub-companies. From the architects, I take over my dad's company, and then creative agency, Citizens Agency, which is actually holding Rumah Tangsi now. We are asset management and digital branding and lab training with my fellow partner, AR Adrianta. And also recently, last year, I was invited by pentas.io, which is the biggest marketplace for NFT in Malaysia. We are currently ranked number 6 in the world in BSC chain. Huh? Yeah. So just came out in the edge, and with that, I actually set up the blockchain school, and we're going to sign an MOU with HRDF next 2 weeks to start on the corporate advocacy on blockchain. So I think today I'm going to take you through a new journey towards the outer world of Metaverse. Huh? But going back, life during pandemic, I think 3 years ago, we were like shocked when pandemic happened. All those lots of restriction and rules. As an architect, limited capacity, reserve market, tight budget, disruptive stops, various challenges is happening. But myself, sitting at home, I was looking at my kids. My kids were playing Minecraft, Roblox, PKXD. My kids are very young. They are only 6 years old at the time. Just entered standard 1, didn't even get to go to school. But they were so busy, they didn't even have friends. But they were so busy playing PKXD, Minecraft, and Roblox and Among Us that throughout the pandemic 3 years, they had more friends than the brother. Yeah, but the brother also started. But then also looking at the university itself, started calling and then doing the Zoom presentation, and also at the end, the exhibition. I remember Izumi attended a lot of the events in the Gather Town with, I think, some units and Mozilla Hubs. And then UITM did their festival in Sansa, which is a software for 3D, which is high 3D. So that was amazing because Sansa can take about 1,000 people, but it's a software base. And then I met a lot of friends in Pentas and also the crypto adopters. They were exploring new types of typologies. They wanted to spend their money in terms of something. So this is some of the things they are exploring, which is Horizon, Decentraland, Sandbox, and many more. So this is quite interesting. But a lot of the architects, starting to come in, especially the young ones. But as a professional, which path do we choose? Do we want to take the path of the traditional professional? Or we want to take the path of the professional innovator? If we take the path of the traditional professional, we follow sentiment. But we take the path of professional innovator, we start to anticipate the sentiment. We are looking at new ways. I think during KLAF was very good. Invited Chong Yan to share his work. That's Metaverse 20 years coming. Artificial intelligence that can power up this Metaverse real estate currently. So that's amazing. But the transformation of the new world will change to a new way of integrating life to digital technology. I remember when I was in school back in 1996, I was Form 3 at the time. Internet may be just a passing fad as millions give up on it. So it just started 1996. Yeah, we were like on dial-up. Toot, toot, toot. Oh my God, so long to just get connected. I think about half an hour to just connect it, and then after that, it's just to actually browse on the, what's that? Jaring.net. Oh my God. But that was a privilege. So this was back 1996. It's a cycle, actually, Investment also is a cycle. And to know this, you need to know the evolution of what has happened. That's what we call Web 1. 1996 was Web 1. Information economy, where information starts to kick in. The internet came. And then Web 2 came in 2006. The rise of social media. Back before, we were busy playing and looking for girlfriends at MIRC, Yahoo Messenger, right? But then Facebook came. And then a lot more after that came. And then now, during the pandemic, things are getting more bigger, which is the rise of the blockchain, token economy. Smart contracts is starting to come. Some architects already, a lot of doctors know how to do smart contracts. Amazing. And they not even graduate in doctor. Yeah? And then digital ownership, NFTs that's coming. And what's the future? I predict that the future will be artificial intelligence. Not artificial intelligence as we see in the internet, in the movies, but artificial intelligence that will power up this metaverse to actually create sensors in terms of movement. So what is blockchain? Because I know I'll be talking about blockchain and blockchain. To put it as simple, blockchain is actually a database. But previously, it was a centralized database. Once the technology of blockchain came, it created a new way of decentralizing the database, where data can be stored in many multiple ways and interconnected. Yeah, this recording information makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. So that is the power of blockchain that becomes into blocks, right? So everything will become into blocks and then become the blockchain. How can architects be involved in the blockchain? Huh? So if you look at this, I think you can get this on the internet. It's so many use cases. This is what we call use cases in the world. The use cases that is having is many, but architects can be involved in many ways. Smart contracts, and then digital assets. We have a lot of that in our office, storing inside our office, not doing anything. Right? The 3Ds, because the client keep on asking us to make changes. 10 changes. We have 10 assets, right? And then the metaverse ownership, digital currency, data sharing. Sometimes we have music. When I joined this thing, I didn't know that a lot of young architects, they're already into the gaming world. They are programmers and 3D programmers in the gaming world. That's amazing. Yeah. And to know this, you need to know the 5 fundamentals about the blockchain and the ecosystem that leads to the community. The first thing is, actually I've explained, which is the blockchain. That leads to what we call the tokenization economy. So you can actually, everything can be turned into digital asset. I imagine one day, even ourselves can be turned into a digital asset, where we scan our body and become an NFT, right? So this is amazing. But with the tokenization power that is done by smart contract. Smart contract is like our time contract, but it's a contract that actually manages the blockchain, create new ways of doing things. It's like programming, yeah? And thus hence create 2 new things, which is the crypto coins token, which is the money, and also the NFT, which is the digital ownership. So that's what's so amazing about it, is that now people can actually own something and transact and buy, sell. Why can't we use whatever JPEGs now in the online? Because there's no ownership. But with this, it's a ownership under the NFT, and also you can make a transaction with the coins. And thus, it leads to possibilities of creating the whole big picture, which is the metaverse. Metaverse is actually the environment, the whole building environment or the city environment of inside the internet. So what does this all mean? What does it mean? It creates the possibility of digital integration within the web. All the things that is happening now, e-commerce like Shopee and all, cyber 3D worlds like not on chain, and then things like blockchain, social media, which is everywhere now, can be integrated into becoming one-stop solution. So when I say one-stop solution, architects tend to be OAC, tend to think about OAC, one-stop center, and then after that, probably it stopped there, right? But this is one-stop solutions to actually integrate things together. But this is so amazing. And thus it creates the metaverse. And what is metaverse? What do you think metaverse is? Anyone have a clue? Dr. Kim, you have any clue? Whoever can answer, I will give you 1 book.
Well, the metaverse, as far as I know, right, it's a term invented by Stevenson in 1996, the science fiction novel. So I suppose only he can answer what the metaverse is, right? You know?
I would like to hear from Tan Sri. Huh? Tan Sri, because when we did the digital twin first, Tan Sri was the first person that came into the metaverse.
I learned about metaverse from my grandson because he was busy with his Roblox and he created a lot of things, buying things, asking the father to invest, a few $100 to buy tokens, to buy things. So for the Roblox to play with his friends. And he has huge number of friends on Roblox. And I started to think, hey, there must be something that I told him, you must become an architect. Basically, you're building things in this space, in the computer, in the iPad. So I said, no, I think I'll become an engineer. So anyway, that's my first exposure to metaverse. And I started to read a bit more. And last night I attended this the real estate or property in metaverse. And it is actually I was telling Datuk Tan Peing, if you saw the movie, what do you call? Avatar, that's what Metaverse is all about. Because we as architects and designers, we can design things virtually. And you can create spaces and cities using virtual technology. And you can actually coordinate and even find and meet people within your virtual spaces that you have designed. And it could be more realistic than what has been shown by Ridha earlier. So that could be a platform for you to even talk to your clients and bring your clients into your buildings and in three-dimensional space, and for them to experience your design, your interiors and your spaces, and even the whole city blocks later on. Huh? That's my understanding.
I think it's a good understanding now. Thank you. Present from me, Tan Sri. This is the first book that covers blockchain and metaverse in Bahasa Melayu in the world, done by my good friend from Sekolah Crypto. So going back, what is metaverse? Huh? Can we go this? Oops. Cannot control. Oops. Okay. So I would like to. Why is cannot move? Okay, we finish. Can I change this? So anyway, this one is very important to me because this thing was a drawing I did back in 2001 with my lecturer, Mr. Lindsay Holland. Yeah, we did a study on the city of Melbourne, studying about how we can actually change Melbourne City in a different way in terms of the usage. And, you know, Melbourne City is designed in the iron grid. So what we wanted to do is to look at a lot of the heritage building is on the up. So you can't really get close to it because of the grid planning. So that was my first attempt. But is it about 3D? Is that about just creating galleries in web spaces? Because there's a lot of free web spaces of galleries. This one is a very good friend of mine. If you know Datuk Syed Tajuddin, Mr. Syed Tajuddin, a famous painter. He's about 80 plus now. 80 plus. And he made some money in NFT. He's already in NFT. Amazing, right? I think he's the oldest person in Malaysia in NFT currently, in OpenSea and also Pentas. And then, if you look at 20 years ago, there came out this article called The Internet. Bah, why cyberspace isn't and will never be nirvana? They were talking about it. They think that it's a joke. We were exploring and we had a laboratory in RMIT. I think with David also. Did you, were you studying in Gregory's class? I think you know more about this than probably me. But Gregory was doing a lot of amazing things, studying about in terms of the spatial. But the one thing I still remember, the studio is called SIAL, SIAL. So we can remember forever. But what triggered my adventure in this was this guy, Tom Kovac, went to his studio back in 2001. He actually asked me to actually look in Sorkin, Michael Sorkin, the local code. Because the local code is a document that is so different that it's, going against the normal traditional way of thinking about planning, about using nodes, HABs, and also, and also thinking about how architects as urban planners looking at the outer world. So I didn't know why he asked me to read that book. But then after that, subsequently, when we did the first assignment, which is to create an outer world for our project was actually to create an immersive study on how to create a university online. That's already starting 20 years ago. This was the first project that we did. I did with Stefan Schweier and Edmund Ng and also myself. We were studying about probably playing with spaces and how we can actually become the nodes and avatars that can go inside the space where each of the panels could be information that we can tap in. At that time also, there were a lot of architects in Europe who were writing about books on data, how data can be in the internet. Yeah, it's quite amazing. Huh? We have studios that we can actually collaborate together. And then my final project, I submitted this. Didn't go well, but one of the tubes, I was designing tubes that actually people go to universities, enter the tube, log in, and then after that they meet all these boxes. These boxes are all their classes. So when they enter their classes, then they can actually get their information. That was the idea at that time. Yeah, but we didn't know that Metaverse is actually as simple as just replicating the real world. Yeah. So what do you think Metaverse is? Metaverse is an iteration of the internet supporting persistent online 3D visual environment with human immersive experience. In other words, extended space to coexist between physical and virtual through VR and AR and gateways. So basically, it's an avenue for us to actually enter a new world in the virtual world. There was not, the term metaverse didn't exist 20 years ago. We call it virtual world, virtual space, cyberspace. Yeah. I think some of you have watched
My
this
name's
movie, right?
Wade Watts. My dad picked that name because it sounded like a superhero's alter
Real play,
ego,
me.
like Peter Parker.
It's an amazing
or Bruce
movie.
Banner.
Start to
But he
actually
died
show
when I was
how
a
things
kid. My mom
you can
too.
actually experience in a different way, in a
And
different virtual
I
world.
ended up here, sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere. There's nowhere left to go.
But this is reality.
Nowhere.
Some of the countries are already, the youth,
except the
they stay
oasis.
in a high density spaces. You don't have any place to walk or go.
A whole virtual universe.
But like Tan Sri said just now, this is where we're heading to.
People
Because
come to the
right
oasis
now,
for all the things they
the
can
open
do.
source only supports simple, low polygon. But this high polygon will come
They stay.
probably in 10 years
All the
time,
things they can
probably.
be.
And together with the artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And then what we're doing now in hubs also is the same. They already imagine it to fly. Yeah? What does the metaverse do? What can we do in the metaverse? Immersive contents, definitely. It's given, people are putting their NFT galleries and then also clicking their social media. They bring their communities, do activities, and collaborate and learn together. We have clients. I was working with one client doing their metaverse forest. Later I will show. Cikgu Sekolah in Perak. So they are doing metaverse. From the NFT money that they made, they actually pay a gamer. And I was called as an advisor to actually assist them. Was the architect ever a part of the metaverse? This is very important. I put together a very nice timeline for everyone talking about the history of metaverse. It's all started, VR started back in as far as 1961 when Sensorama was designed. Yeah, 1962 by Morton Hellick. This was the first machine that was created, but it's based on like TV. And then from there, games came in. First-person shooter maze, multi-user dungeons. Very special. And then as you go along, back in 1981, a lot of literature came in. People in the world started to write. The True Names was one of the pioneers in terms of imagining the story of the metaverse and its challenge with the hackers. And also other books came in, Burning Chrome. I think some of you have watched Tron, so it came before as a book. And then after that, it became movies, and then Neuromancer and Snow Crash it's still relevant today. You can watch it in the YouTube. And in 1985, the game starts to be more better, and the internet era came. The era of MIRC, ICQ, and Yahoo Messenger. I remember when I was young, memang I suka lah this thing because it's a pastime. Can meet more people can find new. I found about a few. With my wife here, I got a lot of girlfriend from here. Then the Matrix came, the Matrix era came. And what's important that in 1999 when we were doing, was doing Kovac Studio and all together, MVRDB came with a really interesting book called Meta City Data Town. Yeah, so it starts to talk about, a relationship between 3D and data. I think that time also Remco Haas was also studying about this, and a lot of exhibitions were done in Europe. 2002 came. Rise of the phones. We started having our first phone. I remember last time you carry the big phones, right? And then come the Nokia, and then connecting people. Smartphones like button, and then came also 2000. I had my first iPhone, I think back in 2004, I think, bought the iPhone 1. And then came the social media era, the MySpace, the Skype, the Twitter, the needs, the social media. Then came the needs, which is Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, TikTok, Dropbox, Google Drive, yeah, Zoom. Zoom. I remember when in 2002 I was studying in Austria, TU Vienna. We already used teleconferencing between university. We were doing teleconferencing between Vienna and also Hong Kong. So exchange of studio projects. So that was quite amazing. So after that we have to present Cisco, WebEx, yeah, Clubhouse. Clubhouse is very special because it triggered some of the great minds to collaborate in last year. And 2000 onwards, rise of the blockchain, the coins, the wallets, decentralized financing, investment. It's like Forex, stocks, yeah? So you can actually make the crypto work for you. And the rise of NFT in Malaysia. NFT has been around for like a few years, 2017, but in Malaysia, we just started to gain interest in 2021. And now the rise of a lot of Metaverse, which is on-chain like CryptoVoxel, Sandbox, Decentraland, and then recently the announcement of Meta. So what is Metaverse potential now? There's a lot of potential. I think you've seen this by Goldman Sachs. They said that it's an 8 trillion revenue opportunity. It's a lot. I mean, in the world we have a lot of lands, but in the virtual world we have too many lands. It's like you cannot cannot be counted, yeah? And everyone went through. I remember during this time, I think Dr. Tan messaged me, sent to me, about Mark Zuckerberg's movement on this. Why I was like, saying, wow, it's going to be really big. But I don't know what's going to be the impact.
And it has an incredibly inspiring
So
view
Meta,
of whatever
Meta
you
being the
find most
biggest
beautiful.
social media in the world, they have
Hey,
6.4
are you
billion people.
Yeah, just gotta find something
It's
to wear.
not a rocket science that if you change to Metaverse, they already have the population that can actually have the tokens and buy things.
All right, perfect.
It is a new world, yeah. But I think this one you can actually watch yourself in the YouTube. What does it mean? You can start to socialize, shop, work, game, watch. I sit around with a lot of my NFT friends and Metaverse friends. I mean, I'm a little bit older. They are younger, 20, 30. Oh, I don't know how they don't sleep. It's like they sleep every day at 12 lunchtime. So it's very hard to actually have a meeting. Because it's like, alternate, right? But why Metaverse real estate is rising is because number one, it's a new way of form of property investment. A lot of people seeing that it's investment. I heard that someone is previously bought a boat in Sandbox or Decentraland, yeah? That was cost a lot of money. And then after that, scarcity control of each Metaverse. If you know, you would think that if you do in the virtual world, there will be no limit of lands. But they actually, when they do the Metaverse, they actually cap the land within a certain size for the real estate. That makes it scarce. People want to be there and people want to be close to views, to influencers, to artists. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, there were some artists bought. Snoop Dogg, bought. A few, right? Yeah. And the big players are coming to the brands and promote their products. I think a few months ago, I think Nike collaborate with NFT and also on Cyber to actually create the CloneX project that was quite good in terms of NFT combined with the Metaverse. Everyone that buy the NFT get a house to put their artwork. Amazing. And borderless interaction. And definitely, they know that, like Tan Sri said just now, his Chuchu is playing Roblox and the 30-year-old are all into the immersive Roblox era already. They know that within the next 20 years, the 10 years old gonna be the 30 and they're gonna spend in this. And that's a no-brainer. And if you want to know the type of Metaverse, there's two types. Yesterday at the real estate, they were saying the blockchain-enabled and non-blockchain-enabled. Yes, that's right. It's divided into two, blockchain-enabled and non-blockchain-enabled. The blockchain-enabled is things like open source, like virtual galleries, bespoke designs using Spatial.io, GatherTown, Facebook Horizon, Mozilla Hubs, Second Life, VRChat, and also software. gaming engines like software like Sansa, gaming engines, Unity, Unreal, which used to be powering up the whatever 3D that you have. And then the on-chain, we have few, which is the play to earn, which is the games like Axie Infinity, one of the biggest in the world. 3D Virtual, Decentraland, CryptoVoxel, Sandbox, Somnium Space, and platform Upland, Next Earth. I will show you some of this. This example of the off-chain, Gather Town, Sansa, Mozilla. Sample of the 3D metaverse, which this is amazing because architects play a big role in this. We can actually design all this master plan. We're already designing in the real world already, right? So it's easy for us to actually replicate it. And this thing doesn't take a long time. Like if we do master plan, it take about 20 years to do. But this is like take 6 months to do, right? Somnium Space, and you can see the pattern in terms of the town planning and also the building planning. Yeah. This one is a voxel base sandbox. It has about 166,000 parcel on ETH, done by New Zealander. And then CryptoVoxel cap about 3,000 to 5,000 parcel. So you can see the pattern of how they do things, everything with a scale. And if you look at the market cap, currently Sandbox is the biggest in terms of the brand, once Meta announced, yeah. So that's quite interesting. Well, I'm quite curious which Metaverse will majority of people adopt in the future. But currently Sandbox. On-chain aerial photo, Metaverse plot by nextearth.io. Got people selling Google Map. You can buy. But this is not really a Metaverse project. It's like more of a DAO project. Decentralized autonomous organization where people put in money and then they actually make the crypto work for them. And there's a lot of adoptions currently happening. Real estate, about 500 million expected next year. Time X. Warner Music. I heard some Malaysians are doing NFT project with Warner's and OS. Alfa Romeo, the cars, and then the Foo Fighters, all the artists are coming in. And then heard banks already coming in. Heard Malaysia is establishing the first digital bank as well. I don't know which one they are going to select. And the McDonald's as well. Many. Walmart. Amazing, Walmart. Future. Now we go to, Tesco online. Now we can actually be immersed in the
Thanks for visiting Walmart.
The supermarket.
I will be your shopping
just
assistant
by
module
simply
today,
clicking
but
a
you
few
can
buttons.
Call me Sam for short.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, so probably I was thinking
Okay,
like
let's get
my
started.
wife will
I have
give me
your
a
shopping
list.
list
I will
loaded
put my
up,
list
and
here
I'm tracking your
and
oil
go
change so I can let you know as soon as
inside
it's
the
done.
metaverse of the supermarket, and then start going in. Straight
You
away
see the tomato
arrive
sauce on your
at the
left?
supermarket.
Go ahead and grab that and then place it in your cart.
Amazing, eh? Something that is mind blowing. Then you can actually buy, take. That was the scenario of the world. What about Malaysia? You want to know about Malaysia? Yeah, of course. You want to know about Malaysia, right? I think most of you know already that last year, what happened? the legalization of the 4 exchanges that empowers people to exchange cryptocurrency to money. That is a significant move because like a lot of people that have cryptocurrencies now, they can actually change, especially in Luno, one of the biggest, right? MX Exchange, Synergy, Tokenize, yeah. With that also, but our government SC is very, very tight in terms of their regulations. Yeah. So anything have to go to SC for approvals. And from there, the rise of the NFT in Malaysia, Pentas.io came about last year. I was glad that I met all the directors of Pentas, Mr. Irshad, Marish, Muhammad, and then a few more. And then we worked together. We never met before. We met in Clubhouse. And then from there, a few months, we brainstormed in Clubhouse. Then we met and then we formed, and also the advisory team that is influencers of each of the industries, from music, from sports, architecture, and many more. So that was amazing. And it created a market cap, getting higher and higher. Now Pentas is number 6 in the world in terms of the SE chain. And a lot of architects starting to come in. My good friend Kawa also is already in the NFT in Pentas. Sharawi is doing well. And then Hakim also in the Pentas also. And myself, I also been selling few just to test out and donate back. And what's interesting is that it triggered a lot other things. It's not about selling. It's about it's artwork or transaction, but it triggered that to explore more other things. I started to explore OpenSea, and from the ETH and Tezos chain, I can connect to other galleries called on Cyber. Started doing the gallery for my office. Now it's easy. Whenever I go to my clients, I open my on Cyber account for my office, and then okay, you can see all the previous work. But do you have token, you can buy straight away. So before starting, they already can buy the artwork. And then for Akia, I did the gallery just for future that Akia the community or committee of the NGO can actually self-sustain, experiment on that. And then this is also very important. The first metaverse that was done publicly for an event in Malaysia. This is a Crypto Art Week Asia, done by none other than A.R. Salman. Yeah. And this is amazing because this event is bringing together all the best creative minds in Asia and put together within the metaverse also. Simple design, building, it is outdoor, and then also a lot of thinking because they need an architect for this because it is involving programming, function of people. That's what lacking by others because we are trained to do programming, functionality, space planning. Yeah. This is how it looks. And also the first Malaysia NFT gallery in the world. So it came out in the newspaper. Yeah, amazing. You guys should give a hand to Salman. He's a pioneer. So from there, my exploration and Salman exploration, we got together. Hey, let's do a project together, and we did. A few months later, this came out in the newspaper. Many newspaper came out about the Malaysia first ever crypto art gallery in the world. And then came the project by Telecom. They actually started to do events in Telecom, and they did a metaverse called Nusantara by the TIC. Portals came in. That was amazing. This is amazing. This was the first NFT festival in Malaysia. Collaboration between 3 organizations, Rumah Tangsi, NFXT, and also Sketch Meta. So what happened was we brought together, we had a vision. We want to do a hybrid event. So, and then disruptive concept came, I think last month. Khwarizmi, Congratulations, Khwarizmi, for winning this award. Yeah. We had a long chat about this for a few months. And then it was amazing how he has taken it into the architecture world. And at the same time, Mark Zuckerberg is also coming also with statements in the Star about AI projects. So it's not really a fable that AI is coming. It's going to be powering up the metaverse in the future. Yeah. And also last night, property metaverse, the real estate agents are coming in. They want to become the agents of the metaverse. It's amazing. We can create. They can actually help to sell. And I'd like to introduce my team. We design Frontier in Designing Graviteless Universe. Consists of five. Myself, the planner, Hafiz and PJ, which is a lawyer multimedia. He's specialized in the business. And then 2 architects, Khwarizmi and Salman, metaverse designer. And of course, we have our Web3 designer, Mr. Azhar Ashad, wonder kid in Malaysia. So he's very well versed in designing blockchain. And our vision is to elevate multiverse immersive experience and bring Malaysian to the world global. Our vision is always simple. We see this is the next oil and gas. This is the future creative economy for the next future of our kids. And our service is metaverse development, physical space planning, physical products, social media, blockchain, Web3 systems, NFT management. So there's some of the things that we do in our team up for now. If you came to PAM just now from the main entrance, you see the exhibition. Okay, so it's quite simple. It's talking about a lot of projects that we explore. So you can go into the QR code and you can go into the metaverse world and explore a lot of exhibition. And the service typologies, we cater from interior, utopian concept, digital twinning, NFT creator gallery. There's a lot of NFT creator gallery that wants to do projects in an urban design in metaverse, which creates another typology of this city. So I will share you a few projects. The first project is creating the first meta digital twin we did with on Rumah Tangsi. Rumah Tangsi is, you all know, which is the old PAM. So the first thing we need to do is to get the agreement from the landlord to allow for us to do the 3D. And then after that, from there, we started to actually look into softwares of how to bring it into the system, integrate it with as a metaverse, and then from there, tying up with social media and also the marketplace, and then from there, curate the events. That is as simple as it is to create a basic metaverse, personalized and bespoke. And from there, this project I was working with A.R. Salman. He was doing the 3D. We were doing the 3D. At the same time, I was curating the artist and engagement. So it's a lot of work back and forth, curating the project, curating the events and everything. And this was the first event, Pentas Malaysia for Merdeka last year. We collaborated. And true enough, we got a project with the KL Fashion Week to do actually a physical Rumah Tangsi got a project with KL Fashion Weekend to do a fashion show. So they wanted also the metaverse. So it came side by side, the real world and the digital world. Yeah, came out in the newspaper. Was with the My Creative Ventures and Chenana, and then the event itself, the first event NFT festival in Malaysia. A lot of things. This is the we don't only do it digital, but we bring it to physical. This is the future of 3D. This is a very famous artist called Cybernet Baby. So this is what we call sculpting of 3D. Yeah, not many people have this skill. Right? Once you have the VR, you can actually explore this. And then the other one is projection mapping. So I said about NFT. A lot of people sometimes we have projection mapping of NFT events. So this is I think NFT by some of my friends. And Filament has arranged the mapping. This is, sorry, put last minute. So, the Rumah Tangsi was ran by my friend Kimio to just surprise his girlfriend for his birthday. He put together for his friends. Then a lot of friends came in, and then they actually had activity, happy birthday with the girlfriend. Amazing. So it's Metaverse is bringing it up to life. The second project that I'm sharing with you is a project. I had this idea. I was talking to previous president of Nepal, Anju, architect of Nepal, Anju. Anju, I was asking Anju, hey Anju, since the earthquake, a lot of buildings have been demolished, right? So why don't we actually explore in terms of creating the 3D world for the building of demolished? So then I was sitting with Kawa Rizmi, discussing about how the potential of actually looking into the books and then looking into recreating this 3D so that people actually can go into the building and explore the building. So our first exploration was doing a building palace, Papate Palace, the Krishna Palace, and then getting a lot of components like the padi, perigi, all those things. We wanted the world to learn about Malaysia. And then subsequently, we worked together with a famous artist, Mr. Sanuri, who is a very good artist. He's number one for fine art in the NFT world in Malaysia. We did the Meta Palace exhibition. So when you do a project or metaverse, you have to start to think about the program from coming in. It's not really only, because when we do design last time, we just do planning and then, okay, the flow we start to imagine. But when you do NFT, you have to plan also the event itself. What will happen? You have to simulate it. Yeah. So everything will be interconnected. And then the event itself, exhibition. So Sanuri, he has a lot of work. And someone even came with a tepak sirih just to be inside there. Then the exhibition itself, there's a lot of work, and then you can bring your VR avatar inside. Amazing. This one was the first commission we did for a top NFT project. Their project NFT is all skeleton. I think recently you heard about them selling, they came out in the net, one artwork, 40,000. One artwork, 40,000. Yeah? So that's amazing. So this creator, very young creator, they actually sell, and then the artwork, and a lot of people like it. So the ideation, we work together in terms of sketching and then get them the flow. It's similar to architecture, just that it's It's for virtual. Then from there, we started doing the 3D low polygons. This one is a meeting, client consultant meeting. So we had a meeting in the metaverse while doing it. And then from there, space programming. Yeah, planning the thing. From there is finished product where we actually set up it. Amazing. The process itself is almost similar except for don't have the submission to OAC. And also don't have CCC. This artwork, a lot of the NFT always tie up with utilities, but this artwork speaks for itself. It's always connecting. People like the artwork, so people buy. And now one artwork is about 2,000 ringgit. So it could go up to maybe a lot. Yeah. And from there also, it also connected to the way you navigate. You have to plan everything in unison. Gamers or people who are familiar with games, they know WASD to move around, navigate. And so from there, we hand over after the finish of the product. We had the events, then hand over to the owner because the project was about doing a clubhouse for the. This is a clubhouse for the holders. Yeah. So what they can do, visit gallery, meeting, selfie, discussion, visit e-commerce. They can actually buy if people sell. This is a meeting by the team, the owner team. Sakaratul Maut, Nan, Paat, Rin. They had a meeting and then after that they start sketching. Amazing. And then this is another project. We were called as an advisor to Sang Rimba, Cikgu Sekolah I told you just now in Perak. So they asked me, okay, we have a team of people who can do gaming. We have a team of, the teacher had a vision, but let's do how to do the planning. So they wanted programming. So I was there to help them with the programming. So the idea was actually to create a meta forest that connects to education, the kids from animals. So as you go along, you will see animals, and then future it will add with schools that the students can go in and actually learn. Just finished the beta. So in the gaming engine. So basically you can enter and then after that go inside and then start to explore the world. So the kids, if you are a kid, have not. But this metaphorus was designed together with thinking about endangered species in Malaysia. So that's quite interesting. And the beauty part about this artist is because when he did the NFT, for one NFT sold, one pokok tanam in Sabah. So when he planned this also, he had the pokok inside the metaverse. Amazing. Yeah. So we planned it together. And then of course, recently I was sitting with Kawa, let's do experiment on the PAM metaverse. So, but currently it's just basic, but later we'll be showing. Simple is the building itself. We were working with Victor with drawings, and then we thought that it would be nice for PAM to have a metaverse, to be the first NGO architects association in the world that have their own metaverse and can do exhibition. So this one will be handed over to PAM. Yeah. Especially from our team and also from membership youth committee. And side meeting with Kawa to do this. And also, we came out in the newspaper, 8 Metaverse design from 5 Malaysian designers. And currently, our upcoming project is the Cityverse.io, which is we are planning to do the next decentralized land of Malaysia. We are working with gaming companies and many others, and also the government to actually start to think about how to finance this. It's a quite complex project. It involves a lot of programming and many things. So you can see people can actually live here, and then after that, have you ever imagined you can own your own helicopter or even a yacht or aeroplane? So in conclusion, you can learn this. There's a lot of books online you can buy from Amazon, the book deposit, Metaverse. Even you have this book also about, Metaverse done about meta ideas. And also, Metaverse will impact us in many ways. Rise of decentralized virtual living environment. Architect has a lot of virtual land to develop now. Last time we just go to one land. Now we can see many lands. Absorb. And then passive income through creativity. Every single process of your architecture can be an income. It's no longer by stages. Everything can be an income. And also integration between multiverse space. We had this vision that future, the spaces can be reduced. You don't need to have so big pictures. All the storage can be closed. And also the adoption there. We got some companies talking about education on Metaverse, healthcare in Metaverse, hybrid commerce, malls are coming. These are coming in Malaysia soon. A lot of people are doing it. And then before I end, I would like to share our video. These are my team. Thank you very much, team, for supporting our
Can
vision.
you imagine yourself being in an outer world that is gravityless and no barrier, a place where you can play, work, and earn. It is the new world within the cyberspace. It is the Metaverse. As you all know, that COVID-19 has impacted the world in many ways. A lot of people have lost their jobs, their families, and also impacted by the economy or social or sustainability of their life. But with this, there are the emergence of digital transformation within this world. Digital transformation that leads to blockchain, NFT, decentralized financing, and, as you know, the word meta or none other than Metaverse. At Cityverse, we provide you with technological transformation and ways of embracing the new trend, which is the Metaverse. We will guide you in terms of incorporating and integrating your physical requirements and digital requirements so that you can create the ultimate holistic solutions in creation of your Metaverse. Cityverse is your future solution.
All right. We hope that we can empower the architects in the future. Thank you very much.